Old sluts. It's just a bunch of old sluts. Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm Watching The Sandman, Season 1, Episode 7.
The Doll's House.
Although that was such a small detail to like, or is it meant to represent the B&B?
Kind of, probably both.
The layers. Mm-hmm. Okay. This episode was a doozy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
A lot dense. So we're going to be doing our best. I enjoyed it. I think I followed it all. I'm not sure that I'm at the recapping.
Not 100%. I think between the two of us, we can get 85% of the way there.
Because I've been talking a lot about the storytelling and Neil Gaiman. He's implemented a thing that I love. It's so smart. But the presence of Lucien as a librarian, that's such a brilliant exposition cheat.
Yeah. It's the same thing I talk about every time that we run into something like this where there's like an exposition dump character, and I always bring it back to Giles from Buffy, because you have to have somebody with enough gravitas to make it work, and that's like interesting enough to make it work, and that has a job that facilitates their having all of this knowledge.
Well, when we were writing Fairytale, I was, especially in the beginning, I was always trying to put new people in scenes. Yep. So the characters had reason to explain what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I just think, because first of all, Morpheus was missing for 100 years.
Yeah.
And then by her nature as a librarian, it just, I don't know. It's very beautiful.
It works great.
In the dreaming, she was sort of Lucien was going around and doing like a census of sorts. And she was with Cain. Abel was there, but we didn't see him. She was with Abel?
Yeah.
Abel, yes.
Yeah.
Because Cain's like...
He's like also a dick. I would rather speak to Abel all day than talk to Cain.
So she was talking to Abel and Goldie, and she was doing a census, and we found out that there was other things. There's something scary in the basement.
Something nasty in the basement. The house itself is like a creature, and then there was like something else as well.
And there are 3 things currently missing.
Yeah.
Something named Golt.
Yeah.
That they appeared in the 3 stained glass
very
windows.
Cool. Yeah.
Golt looked like it had a mask. And then the Corinthian. And then a land?
The Fiddler's Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been to that tavern. It's beautiful.
Like the one here or the one?
Just seems like it would be.
Well, the one on...
by Cask and Larder. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They are concerned about where these things are. They want to find them. And then we have, you were correct. Unity was important.
Yeah.
She was in the sleep sickness. And we were introduced to a character named Rose, who is a vortex.
She is a dream vortex, is what they keep telling her.
And we, the audience, are not entirely sure what that means, but she's a threat to they're calling them the Endless.
The like family is called the Endless. So she is potentially a threat to Dream, but he basically is like, she's not actively harming me right now, so I can't interfere because she's immortal. But amortal. But we have these 3 missing things. She could be helpful in that. So like we could potentially use her to corral these 3 things that are like in the waking world.
And she was, when she was younger, her parents got divorced and her mother took her and her father took her brother. Terrible.
I don't understand.
I mean, yeah.
It's some real parent trap nonsense. Like these sociopathic parents who are like, let's split up our kids. But it seemed like only the dad, because the mom wanted to take Jed.
It's the kind of thing that will either they'll explain it or we won't revisit it. You know what I mean? There will be not another detail. So she went to New Jersey with her mother, and then her mother died. We're not entirely sure what happened. We picked up later where she's 21. She has sort of been adopted by a neighbor. What was her name?
Lyda.
Lyda, beautiful. Well, everyone is
pretty,
beautiful, but Lyda was very beautiful. And Lyda's husband also died recently, so he was able to know Rose and Rose him. And Rose is on a quest to well,
she's trying to find her brother, and then somehow she was contacted and propositioned to do like a family history interview or something in London.
But it seemed like I don't know what to call that. That's where I got hung up. Is I don't know what to call that thing. Like a foster or like a It seemed like she was doing like an interview or like sort of a spokesperson for like.
Well, it was all fake because it was just Unity on the other end that like made up a scheme.
Mm-hmm. So Unity was, what'd she say, like 10 or 12 when she...
Yeah, it was on her birthday. 11, she was a little girl. 11.
Yeah. And she got a dollhouse that she didn't get to play with. And she talked about it like it was too late, as if you can't play with dolls after a certain age.
Play with your dollhouse. Come on. So the guy who is like the producer for My Favorite Murder, his name is Steven. I like follow him on Twitter. And the other day he was like, it makes me really sad that adults think they can't just go buy themselves toys. He was like, you should just be buying yourself toys. And I was like, I agree.
And that can mean many things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be like playing with toys the way a child would, but like just trinkets, just baubles, just things.
Just buy yourself something that gives you joy.
Just something tactical. That's very important to me. Yeah. That's part of all this is that I like being able to touch things.
You meant to say tactile.
I say that all the time.
You said tactical.
No, I do that all the time.
Like we're about to go into war.
So Unity was 11 when the sleep sickness happened.
And she just woke up 8 months ago.
Yeah, but she had a wonderful dream life and a dream husband and a child.
I don't love the optics of her giving birth.
Oh yeah, I know. No, we glossed over that. I think it was all there. And So that child then had a child who was Rose's mother.
Yeah.
So Rose is her great-granddaughter and she is her great-grandmother. And Unity is essentially adopting her, and Unity is wealthy, and Unity wants her to
Apparently they own a sugar company. Fucking get it.
Unity wants her to find Jed.
Yeah, the brother. Because she wants to meet him.
And then Rose encountered the Fates, and they were not helpful.
No.
As they are wont to not be. She asked the wrong question. We know how they feel about their questions. So I'm sure it meant something. I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah. I didn't understand because they were warning her against something.
Yeah. Well, I think it has to do with what we found out about Jed at the very end.
They said the word Galt happened several times, and every time I was like, which one is that?
Yeah.
And then there were 3 other entities that I'm assuming, I think they were not mortal, that are planning a convention.
Oh, no, those are just human serial killers.
I don't know that I believe you.
Because they kept on talking about the current Corinthian. If they were immortal, they would know that he's immortal.
Okay. Well, then how did she know that the waiter was 16?
People just have a sense. She was guessing also 16, 17, too old for you is what she said to the guy.
Okay.
It was just like a...
Well, they're serial killers and apparently, I guess, they're having a serial killer convention.
Yeah.
And they need a guest of honor and they're trying to proposition...
And Betty Cooper's busy.
They're trying to proposition Corinthian to be the keynote speaker.
The current Corinthian. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They don't know that.
So that's a title. It's not a name.
No, they think it's been multiple dudes since 1916.
Oh,
yeah.
So they don't know he's a god.
Exactly.
They're gods.
He's not. The Corinthian is not a god.
He's a nightmare. Blah, blah, blah.
That's why I am certain that they are human, because they kept saying the current Corinthian as if it's just been someone taking over the mantle every time the previous one dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just dirtbag human serial killers. Yeah.
So that's really funny. I mean, it's not, but
no, it is. It's kind of funny.
And so Corinthian also wants Rose.
Yes, because she's a vortex. Because I think if he can control Rose, then he can get rid of Dream.
Okay.
There's a lot of pieces moving, but basically it's like a handful of people it's Dream and they're on his side and they're trying to like put things back in order, or it's like Desire and the Corinthian and they're trying to kill Dream.
Okay. Yeah. And so Corinthian got to Rose's house, got it in and got it out and maybe back in again with Colin. That was a lot of fun.
Was that his name, Colin?
I think so.
Yeah. It was so funny. No, Carl.
I think that's very interesting that Carl has no idea.
No idea what
he just
avoided.
Yeah.
Because he basically was like, he just was like, you're hot and shaped like you are. Why don't you come in and take me down?
I actually laughed out loud and it caught me off guard, but because they're both flirting with each other immediately.
Sure.
And the second a gay puts the arm up, it's like, oh. And so he's like in the door frame and he's like,
you could come in and wait.
Yeah, Corinthian was like,
for a week.
Well, Corinthian was like, when did she get back? And he was like, about a week. You can come in and wait if you want. And I was like,
LOL.
That was so funny to me. So.
And then he tried to take his glasses.
We be that dumb.
And he was.
To not, like, it's just a red flag factory. And we're like, ooh.
Oh, my.
Don't mind
More.
if I play.
And so he grabbed his hand and, like, didn't do anything. But also, we'd noticed Rose had a photograph of Daisy Head's character Judy. So
there were several pictures in there. Judy was the only one that we really recognized. So we'll see. And Lyda, she had a conversation with her dead husband on the plane
in a dream.
Oh, okay. Also, Matthew is on Earth watching after Rose.
We also got Merv the Pumpkinhead. Again or for the first time?
Well, again, but this is the first time he's like a character.
And he was in Mark Hamill doing his voice.
And he's illustrated in a different way. Like his the effects on his pumpkin head almost look animated. Oh. It's very interesting. Yeah. He's unsure that Matthew can handle it. Because he's
new.
Yeah. And so then Rose and Lyda got to Cape Kennedy, which isn't a real place.
Is it?
I Googled it and it just went to Cape Canaveral.
Oh.
So, because the Kennedy Space Center is in Cape Canaveral. But so they got to a B&B in Florida where John Cameron Mitchell is the sort of like owner. And it's a motley crew that live there.
A couple of Wednesday Addams and a Sherlock Holmes.
And a Ken and Barbie.
Ken and Barbie.
That was hilarious. Wilson Barbie's
in it,
around a little bit.
So when I was looking for the princess, I was looking to see who played her in episode 3, I guess. The only thing that came up in my Googling was about a character named Barbie. So I think she's a big deal in the graphic novel as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hal is a drag queen. They went to a drag bar. Everybody had a good time. Yeah. Stephen Fry is
Gilbert.
He likes to read and he lives. They're like living in this bed and breakfast.
Yeah, he called it a bed and breakfast. I was like, this sounds like a boarding house. Like that's a different thing.
And he saved Rose from some punk ass.
She was
Although Rose was like doing a decent job herself.
She fucking broke the bottle in the one guy's head. She was like getting a call from Unity and then she was out in the alley like by herself.
The whole thing was suspicious.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. My guard is up.
Yeah.
Also, Desire is mincing.
Yeah, love it.
Mincing about and plotting or bullying Despair. I'm not entirely sure.
So they are apparently twins, and which is sense making. I like it. And yeah, I guess they
had a joy and sadness rapport.
Oh, yeah.
Very inside out.
they are conspiring together. Like Despair is also like, I don't know if it was like the result of bullying, but Despair is like in the mix.
It just seemed like Desire was pushing her around.
Sure. I mean, probably. Yeah.
Jed.
Yeah. Wow.
So many names.
We met like 12 new characters in this episode. So are we to believe that those are the like friends of the dad?
I suppose.
That like adopted or like are fostering him?
Well, the second the foster woman, the like the social worker. The second the social worker were so certain that he was in a good situation, I was like, no. Okay.
Also, the fact always that they're like, well, they're making $800 a month, so it's fine. And I was like, $800 a month is nothing. And it's like, oftentimes not enough money to keep foster parents from abusing kids. The foster system is broken. It's infuriating to me. He has an adult sibling. She should be able to get him.
So I enjoyed that scene where she was like, let's follow this thought experiment through. Yeah. And so she brought up good points, but she was just sort of like, nothing we can do. And I'm like, but that's a starting point.
Yeah.
Like, that's not I don't know. The way she was so
Also,
defeatist.
she has an older adult female friend.
Yeah.
Also, she comes from a sugar empire. I just think she's going to be fine.
Did they know that at that point?
Yeah, that was after they had already been meeting with Unity.
I don't know. It was the kind of thing where the social worker was very, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
Yeah.
And I was sort of like, these are things that you can get over. Because I mean, I know that because you studied it in school, that like the social work system is a mess. But it's like the places where they're like, they're fine, and no, we need to protect them, are so random.
It feels very arbitrary at all times. It's just...
It's like, why is that kid totally fine and there's nothing you can do? But in this situation, they're like, that is absolutely against protocol. Yeah. And it's like, what? I don't know. It's very...
I also find it very alarming that she was not allowed to keep in touch with her brother from New Jersey to Florida. It's all shady and gross.
It's the kind of thing that it's they're either going to sort of explain it later, or it's the sort of like folksy fairy tale quality you get from these kinds of stories, a la Harry Potter living under the stairs. Yeah. Like sometimes that just be the.
Well, that has a reason.
I mean, I know, but it's like, but it's also sort of like a commentary on that type of like the poor little match girl.
Sure.
Like, Cinderella, like
regardless, he has run away. Jed tried to run away, and then the mother, the wife, found him on the road.
I know she's in it too, but still.
Yeah, she tried to. He was like, "We need to leave immediately. Like, we can't go back. We have to leave." And she was like, "What will we do?" And he was like, "It literally doesn't matter. We just need to leave." And so they were getting ready to leave, and then the husband Barnaby showed up. And he was like, "I think Jed's coming with me." And I'm just like, I don't. And then he made him get in the trunk.
Gun, and
I don't.
So we'll see. I'm sure they'll pick up where we left off. But
zoinks! Oh my God, that is how I knew the wife, Clarice, and I was like, how do I know her? She was on that show New Amsterdam, that medical drama that I watched like 2 seasons of.
All right, I think that's.
Yeah, I think that's everything. It was good. I like it. It's like a lot. Like this episode was jam-packed full of stuff.
Well, it's a different show. It was a premiere.
Yeah. Super interesting though. I'm excited. And then at the very end, Rose was like in the dreaming and like Lucien and Morpheus or Dream were talking about Jed, and she was like, I'm Rose. What do you know about my brother? Amazing. I love that. It's super fun.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.